I hope so.
Kevin always sat straight on. I don't know.
Okay.
This one up here
It's on the book.
as well, but I'll be back before you guys start, just to make sure everything's good.
So the person who's speaking is speaking here?
Well, as long as it's really.
Yep.
Obviously, so if we have a panel, you want to stack.
If you can.
That's
Or
the best thing.
Yeah, I mean,
We don't have this, but those people, sometimes we can ask them about the one we hit table. But, so we probably need instructions. If you want change, we do a change.
yeah.
So this one, you know what, I could use a couple tomato plants. I just tried to go tell me to come in and say. I don't know.
Oh, bell peppers, okay.
Not my.
Not the right
So I
peppers.
just.
What kind of peppers are you looking for? I'm not able to hook you up. You look like a fucking split for hot peppers? Yeah. I been growing, Carolina.
Okay. Are we? Yep. I have commandeered the microphone. Hello.
Doesn't sound like
It does not sound like it's working. Yeah, the mic doesn't sound like it's working. Uh-oh. Okay, it seems to be working now.
There you go. Yes, that sounds great.
Ooh, yeah, I don't, that's, okay.
Do you have a problem? Houston?
The sound is not great, honestly. So.
How may I assist? Wait, what's wrong with your sound?
It just sounds bad. So I just need to into the stream and then.
All right. Come on over here. Let's put you in the middle. Okay? All right. That's where you from. That's the back. The very back.
Yeah, he's stressed out. I don't know, but I guess that's just where he belongs to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
How do you turn it on? Do you know how to turn this on?
Button on the bottom.
Yeah, I did. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to quickly let you know that there is coffee in the back. Those of you who may not have been aware. Coffee in the back. There is coffee in the back. How's that? It was beautiful.
Not coming through.
Great job. No, we're checking stuff on the screen. Was the webcam better?
No, it was about the same.
Okay. Well, we roll with what we got, and we can get the Yeti tomorrow if you need. Or I can have my parents bring it for the afternoon.
Do you have that microphone?
Yeah, it's right here.
Hello.
It's off.
Check 1, 2. Here.
It's off again. Oh, no, it's not. You put the camera back?
Well, the camera's still there. Well, it's just not going to be as That's okay. Crystal clear as we would like.
Seriously, do you need to get my parents to bring me a mic?
We have to find a micro USB cord, and we'd have to make sure there was one long enough.
A mini,
Yeah.
mini USB. And what if you moved the Mac over here? Like, what if you put it on the side of the table?
Well, then my power is going to be an issue. Well, it's just going to have to be.
The webcam?
It doesn't make the speaker up very Yeah.
I'll go. He's out.
Okay, does it pick me up?
No, this isn't talking No, I just put my headphones on because they'll fix too much.
It is, this is. And that's what gave me the stripes on this.
So what? Okay, my wife's on this side. On my left. Actually, we're following each other. This is just the project. I do.
Yeah, let's do what things have changed. But how it's That's too bad.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
We have ice water at the table.
I gathered.
Probably the best we're gonna get. Okay. We'll make it work, TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll probably be a lot better with you.
Yeah.
What's, oh, yeah, yeah.
Have some chatter.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2026 National Federation of the Blind of Idaho Convention. I'm going to go ahead and get us started as people start to mill in. You'll learn with me as I moderate this year, I like to stay on time. So we'll get started this morning, and I'm going to hand it over to Angie.
Hi, my name is Angie Bradley, and I worked with Dana Ard, our president, who unfortunately cannot be here. And we decided to open the convention with the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, with America's music through the centuries. To start us off, we're going to sing Yankee Doodle, which was written in about 1750, originated as a pre-Revolutionary War song created by British officers to mock American colonists as unrefined doodles, fools, and dandies. Americans eventually adopted the tune, transforming it into an anthem of defiance and victory. Let's do it again. Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony. Like a feather in his hat, called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle dandy. High music and the stuff and funky candy. Okay, our next song is My Country 'Tis of Thee, also known as America, was written in 1831 by Samuel Francis Smith, a 24-year-old Baptist seminary student. It was first performed publicly on July 4th, 1831 in Boston. It served as an unofficial national anthem until 1931. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet liberty, all thee I see. Okay, now the next song is America the Beautiful. It was written by Catherine Lee Bates in 1893 after being inspired by the view from Pikes Peak, Colorado, and published on July 4th, 1895, originally titled Pikes Peak. It was later paired with Daniel A. Ward's 1882 melody to create the famous hymn. Just as Okay, our next song is God Bless America. It was written by Jewish immigrant Irving Berlin in 1918 and revised in 1938. It was introduced on Armistice Day, November 11th, 1938, as a prayer for peace. The song became an immediate patriotic hit, with all royalties donated to the Boys and Girl Scouts of America. Okay. And then our last song is God Bless the USA, also known as Proud to Be an American, written by Lee Greenwood. He said his goal was to create an anthem to unite all Americans and honor the sacrifice of the military. And this song is usually played on the 4th of July at fireworks shows and stuff.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
I'm so glad that we are here in the United States of America, where we can have the National Federation of the Blind. As federations, as we work hard, so all blind people have the ability to live the life that they want to, and to make sure that our future generations have that same right. Thank you all, and I hope everyone has a wonderful time at the state convention.
All right, thank you, Angie, that was wonderful. And our next thing up is our invocation this morning, and I've asked Susan Bradley to do that.
Just take your mic. Let's bow our heads. Dear Lord, we're glad to be here in this beautiful place and be amongst friends and be able to connect to ones that we haven't seen for a while and meet new people. We ask that we would all be healthy and have a good convention. And we say these things humbly in Jesus' name, amen.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Shane Ostermeyer. I'm the first vice president for the affiliate. And as Angie already mentioned, Dana, our president, won't be here this year. She's recovering from some medical procedures, so we all wish her well and a speedy and quick recovery from her procedures. She's hoping to join us, I think, through the streaming, and so we send her our love from here. A couple of things I want to kind of get you prepped for, and then with some announcements, and then I'll kind of end with a thought. But tonight, just kind of getting you all ready. So for the board dinner tonight is going to be a little different than in the past. In the past, we probably have just come in and it's been here and plated and served to us. Tonight, we will be going out of this room and into a line. They will serve us and put it on our plates, and then we will bring it back in. That is for tonight. And I know that's a little different than in the past. Tomorrow night's banquet dinner will be plated and will be served to us. But tonight's dinner is just going to be a little different. So just kind of wanted to get you all prepped and ready for that. We've got a lot of things on the agenda today, and I'm really excited about all the things that we have planned. Dana has done a wonderful job with the committee in making sure that we've got lots of different things for everyone. And so we'll go ahead and kind of start getting started. But before we get into the agenda, I wanted to take a moment and just have a moment of silence as we reflect on all of the members this year who have passed. And as we think about them and their memories and what they have done for the Federation here in Idaho and beyond, I want us to think about that and think about their example as we start this convention. So let's take a moment of silence. Thank you. We lost many this year, and they left a great and amazing impact on us. And let's make sure that we think of them as we move throughout this convention. Thank you all. All right, so first up this morning, we're going to start with Who Are We NFB? We're going to have Ramona, Vicky, and myself, and we'll be talking about who we are.
Now say something.
Yeah, go ahead and come on up.
Say something off the mic so that I can find you.
I am right here.
TJ wants us to be after.
Yes. And Ramona was just reminding me, and those who are speaking later today, even if you're in a panel, because of our streaming, we'd like to make sure that you're speaking from the podium, okay?
Do we have a rolling mic?
We do.
We do.
This is for the camera. If we can,
Yes, I'm going to have you speak first. And
So are we just standing here?
oh, you can give.
Uh-huh.
You want to sit well?
I'm handing you the mic.
Oh, okay.
You got it?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. You good?
The reason that we're trying to have people stand at the lectern as possible is for the camera. The camera is positioned at the lectern. So we have mics that will pick up voices, but is that right, TJ?
Yep.
Okay, so I thought people wanted to know that. You may not look at your picture, but a lot of people do. So I have been asked to lead off this panel, Who Are We NFB? And which I'm happy to do. I could go on as you would expect for hours, but I promise not to do that, and Shane won't let me anyway. Isn't Shane doing a great job? He has been first vice president for less than 6 months, and to need to preside at a convention was not expected, but he can do it. So I'm so proud of him. Anyway, when I first came to Idaho, I joined the NFB in 1965 because there was a convention in Washington, D.C., and I lived there as a college student. So that's when I first joined the Federation. But I first came to Idaho in the fall of 1967, and my first Idaho convention was 68. Now, why did I come to Idaho? You guys don't know? I came to Idaho because I married Chuck Walhoff, who lived in Idaho. And he was a young kid right out of college, but he was first vice president of the NFB of Idaho. Now, we don't have anybody that's ready to be first vice president, I think, that just graduated from college right now, right? So there, you know of anybody? Stand up and yell if you do, because we'll probably give them a few jobs. But anyway, things change. Chuck Walhoff never became president because he passed away. But we had a lot of changes. Oline Garten Thielander, as she was known, was president when I came to Idaho, and then I left after my husband passed away. But in 1976, there was an organization of college students which was part of the National Federation of the Blind of Idaho. And it wanted to have a group meet at Boise State University. But in order to meet at Boise State University, there had to be a faculty advisor. Well, how were a bunch of blind guys going to find a faculty advisor? Apparently there was an announcement put out at the university saying, we are looking for a faculty advisor for this university. They call themselves University Association of the Blind. And there was a blind finance professor at Boise State at the time. You know who it was? Norm Gardner. And so he volunteered to be the faculty advisor. That's the first time he ever heard of the NFB. But guess what? It was less than a year that he became state president. Now, how did that happen? When we find bright, energetic people that want jobs, we put them to work. Right, Shane?
Yes.
And so Norm became state president very quickly because some people recognized that he was a natural leader. Most of you remember Jan Gaywith. She now lives in Kentucky, but she was one of the people, and there were several others that I'll leave somebody out if I start to mention them, so I won't. But anyway, he served as president for, I don't know, 10 or 12 years. And he was succeeded by whom? Nobody knows. I was president of the NFB of Idaho after Norm left the state. And so I served, I think, 12 years, maybe it was 11, I lost count. Anyway, through most of the 90s, I served as president. And at that time, the thing that will distinguish the NFB of Idaho of the 1990s, probably more than anything else, is we had a physical office. And we did, from that office, we did telephone fundraising. Everybody loves telephone fundraisers, right? It won't work anymore. You can't do it because there's been so much bad mouthing and trouble with telephone fundraisers. But guess what? It worked in the 1990s and we had plenty of money. And so we didn't worry about our budget. We passed on quite a bit of money to the national office, but we had money. We got lots of people to the national convention, the state conventions, and it was a wonderful organization. And I don't say that because I was president, although it was fun to be president of that organization. But we had a lot of people who were very active and did a lot of work. At one time we had 8 chapters, active chapters. So that's a goal Dana kind of drools over. She would love to have more chapters than we have now, and she thinks about how to get that happening. And it's good to have strong chapters. If I had to have 4 strong chapters or 8 weak chapters, I'd rather have the 4 strong ones. But of course, if I could have 8 strong chapters, that's the best. So there have been lots of changes through the years. In the 21st century, we have had several different presidents, and Dan is a good one, but she's talking about retiring. And so we have to be prepared to make that change, and we will be. Now, I will be here during the whole convention. I'm happy to answer questions, but I just think we need to think about all the changes that have occurred. Everybody knows how the Commission for the Blind was created, right? Silence means no. In 1967, a little band, not very many, a little band of blind people went and sat in the Senate gallery every day of the legislature until the bill passed to create the Commission for the Blind. Before that, there were 2 staff members in the Department of Welfare that served blind people, and that's all. I don't know how many people there are in the staff today, but it has varied during the last 30 years from probably 25 to 45. And so it's a lot more than 2. So change happened and will continue to happen. I won't talk about the changes for the last year right now, but they'll come up during the convention. So I just wanted to say that change can be exciting and healthy. It doesn't have to be, it can be scary and negative, but it can be exciting and healthy. So let's go forward and make it that way. Give them the mic.
You want me?
Yeah. Wait, and you probably should step in front of the lectern. Okay.
Supposed to go around?
Right here is the podium.
Oh.
There you go.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, it all seems square to me. But yeah, I'm Vicki Bateman, and I go back to around 2003 when I had lost my sight probably about 3 years earlier. I was visually impaired. I still had a little bit of vision, but I got invited to a meeting up in Idaho Falls, and they wanted to organize a chapter in our area. I didn't even know what the NFB was. They probably explained a little bit to me, but I still didn't know very much about it. Larry Streeter was our state president at that time, and they nominated a couple different people, and both of them declined the nomination for, different reasons, said they couldn't be president. And then they nominated me, and I thought, oh my word, I don't even know anything about the NFB, but I can't decline, good grief, because two of them already did that. So I think Colleen McFadden said, we will help you, And she was nominated as a treasurer. So I had some great mentors that helped me, and slowly, one step at a time, I learned about the NFB, and we brought people together and became a family up there. And I was a president for 11 years, and we did some great things. And also, after that, I thought, okay, it's probably time for someone else to serve. And Sandy Streeter had moved to Blackfoot, and I said, do you want to be president? And she said, I guess I could do that. Awesome, and so I've been the treasurer for 11 years, and Sandy served for 11 years before her passing. I just want to say that, since I've become a member, I've experienced so many wonderful things through this organization. Washington seminar was just fantastic. I went with Angie and Susan Bradley and Elsie Dickerson. We just had so much fun, learned so much, got to go on tours to the Capitol. And it was amazing. That's the first time I got to go through the Jernigan Center in Baltimore. And we got to stay that evening. I think we were the only ones in the building, but they took me on a tour through the building.
Flight got messed up.
It was so much fun. And I don't remember if that's the one, but when we flew home, I think that was when Snowmageddon hit. Is that the one?
Gosh.
And if we would have been there just a few hours later, we would have been stuck there. And we got home safely. But, that was one great thing that I experienced. I've been to the Jernigan Center for, to a leadership seminar, which was amazing. I even went by myself. I flew by myself. They came and got me at the airport in a van. And I thought I was pretty proud of myself for that. And then, and then also the national conventions are just amazing. Every time you go, you just see so many people that are so impressive and so confident and independent and just great examples. I've had so many mentors through these years, and I just have to say that, because I became a member and experienced the things that I have, that my life is better for everything I've been through. The relationships that I've built with the people in this affiliate are wonderful. We're like family. I just truly appreciate everybody. I know one national convention, Ramona said, do you want to room with me? I'll be your mentor. And boy, did we have fun.
We did.
Yeah, she's a hoot.
And you
But
said just-
learned so many things. Excuse me. And also the state conventions have always been wonderful. I've only missed one because of my father's death, but I've been to quite a few. So through all of these years, I feel like my life is better because of the NFB, and I appreciate the NFB.
We appreciate you.
Stand back here by you.
If you want, in case there are questions.
All right. So when I was asked to talk about who are we NFB, I thought about when I first got involved. And I actually got involved with the NFB during the COVID years. And,
that sounds so horrible.
yeah. So my first state convention, my first chapter meeting, my first national convention, all of them were virtual experiences. And so that was an interesting way to get introduced to the NFB. As we transitioned out of that, though, and started being able to get back in person And then my first national convention was last year in New Orleans in person. I started to really recognize what the NFB is all about. And I agree with Vicki and Ramona, the national convention, that experience is like nothing else. It's an amazing experience if you have an opportunity. But one of the things that I really wanted to focus on in my time with this, of Who Are We NFB, is who are we going to be? There are a lot of you in this room, because we met last night, that are kind of just exploring who we are, wanting to know if maybe this is a good fit for you. There are people in this room that have been a part of us for a long time, starting to maybe go, do I need to start looking at leadership opportunities, stepping up, doing different things for the organization that I've never done before? I want you to really think about that as we go through this convention. And not only who are we, but who are you within NFB? I think that is really the important part. As you're probably getting a hint, Idaho is in a transition. We are facing a lot of new things this year. I'm in a brand new position because some of our leadership, some of our mentors of the past are moving on. And so that's why I plant that seed with all of you. As we start to transition, as we start to move, we have to start looking at new opportunities. But in order for us to do that, we need to understand how to connect with you. How do we make NFB important to you? As you have a student luncheon this week, tomorrow, I want you to think about that. As Leslie asks you questions, think about how you can be more involved with NFB, but how can we be more involved with you? Because that's the who we are. Because as we move forward, as we transition, we have to make sure we don't get left behind. This AI generation, let's be honest about it, moves fast. And if we don't move fast as an organization here in Idaho and nationally, we will get left behind. And we are facing a lot of battles. And as Ramona started to talk about, and as we were talking about this presentation, she gave me some examples of old battles that I wish we could say are no longer battles. They are not. Those old battles are now our new battles, and we have to be ready to engage them and fight them. Because if we're not, we are going to get left behind. We have to step up in Idaho and nationally. That's who we are. That's who NFB is and has to be. Okay? So think about that as we move forward throughout this convention and beyond. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
We do have a few minutes for questions. If you have any questions or history that you would like to learn from any of us. Questions?
Door prize.
All right, I like it. Let's do a door prize, Crystal. Thank you.
We're gonna give a door prize away. We got donated haircuts from Maya.
You're good.
So if you don't live in Boise, you'll have to trade with somebody.
Thank you. Okay.
You did great.
Lisa Baker, are you here? The haircut. And then we're gonna do another door prize real quick for a beanie that was made by my really good friend Emily, and that was made out of wool. And you also get a $5 gift certificate to Dutch Brothers. Oh, I have to wait for whoever's friend to read this one. You want me to read it? I forgot my meta glasses, sorry.
I brought so much stuff.
Christmas, right?
No way. No way. No, I'll donate it back. I'll donate it back. I got them. Redraw. Yeah, redraw. Redraw.
I like that the door prizes are already rigged there, Crystal.
I know, I don't redraw. I got them. Oh, Owens, Dan Owens. Vaughn. Oh, Vaughn, sorry. Vaughn. Sorry, Vaughn.
Fawn Owens.
Yeah.
Did we find her?
Yes,
All
sorry.
right. All right. Well, as you already know, we do door prizes throughout this convention, and I already made one mistake, so I'm going to go back with the announcement. Please be patient with me as I learn the ropes. So I wanted to make sure that I introduced Tom Page, our national representative. He is here from Kansas.
Good morning, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here in Idaho. I have driven across the state before, but now I've officially been in Idaho for more than 24 hours, so I can say I have been to the state of Idaho. Yeah, I got to have a little bit of time in Boise, beautiful area. Look forward to meeting any of you I can. I've heard the registration numbers, so I think it's probably unlikely I'll get to meet everyone, but I am here to serve. And First Vice President Ostermeyer, let me hand you this phone and say, at your service, sir.
Thank you so much, Tom. Okay. You will hear some other presentations from Tom throughout the convention. Our next speaker, and I don't know if she's here yet. Is she? Okay. Is Beth Cunningham from the Idaho Commission.
It's actually Jamie Davis.
So I have that wrong. Hold on. Maybe I'm looking at the agenda wrong.
Yeah, it's Jamie Davis. It's the Idaho Ables Project.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
All right. The Idaho Able Project, and it's Jamie Davis. Getting my agendas all twisted up.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. My name is Jamie Davis. I'm with the Idaho State Independent Living Council. I will happily be Beth. She probably makes a little more than I do, and yeah. So I'm here to talk about the Idaho Able Savings Plan. Many times, people with disabilities struggle to have the ability to save money. Just mainly because of the constraints that a lot of programs put on people. So there's a $2,000 resource limit that is in effect for many state and federal benefits. So you cannot have more than $2,000 in resources. You are able, they'll take you off your benefits and you'll have to spend down or find some way to get rid of that $2,000. Many times, people will spend it down on things that they don't want necessarily. I had someone that bought 6 comforters. I love comforters. I'm a big comforter fan, but I don't need 6. I've had people buy 3 and 4 lift chairs. I've had people just doing anything that they can to spend on that money. And so then they don't have it when they need it for an emergency or for something they want. In 2014, the federal government passed the Achieving a Better Life Experience, or ABLE plan that allows individuals with disabilities to have more than $2,000 and not have it count against any of their benefits, so they can keep their benefits and then they can still save their money. Somebody doesn't have to be on SSI or SSDI, which is a thing that people think that they need to be on is SSI or SSDI. You do not need to be on SSI or SSDI. You just need to have a qualified disability that came into effect prior to age 46. In 2017, Idaho passed legislation that stated that Idaho Medicaid, housing, all that good stuff did not need to count the Able Savings Plan, but Idaho did not have a plan. People were having to go to other states to open their plan. And the reason for that was it wasn't fiscally responsible. So the money that people were going to put in, it was going to be eaten up a lot by fees because there weren't a whole lot of people joining it. And so Idaho chose not to have their own plan. Fast forward to 2000, let's see, we're 26. So fast forward to 2024, and the Idaho State Independent Living Council, along with the State Treasurer's Office, got together and decided that it was time for Idaho to open a program. We put it in our state plan for independent living as a 3-year goal. We were gonna start the paperwork. We were gonna start talking to legislators, and we were hoping by the end of the 3 years that we would actually have a plan in Idaho. The SILC, the State Independent Living Council, or SILC, started a work group with individuals with disabilities and parents of children with disabilities. And we started a work group, and we're meeting at least monthly, talking about what strategies we could have to, talk to legislators, get the word across, all that good stuff. It went better than expected. We started that 2024. 2025, they ran legislation and it passed. And so, yay, except now we have to come up with another state plan for 3 years. But hey, yay! There was bipartisan support. One of the legislators that I talked with, Senator Blaylock, said when I was going through and explaining what the Idaho ABLE program was and why we thought it was important, she kind of cut me off and she's like, well, this is just a no-brainer. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, yeah, but you don't say that, so at least out loud. And so, it really was amazing to see both sides of the group come together and agree that, having people with disabilities have the ability to save money really is something that's a good thing. A lot of times, so people will think, okay, I don't have a resource limit. I maybe, am not, I'm on SSDI, which does not have that $2,000 resource limit like SSI. And so they're like, well, I don't think the ABLE savings plan is really going to benefit me because I don't have that limitation. I've got disabilities. They're invisible disabilities, but a lot of times people will kind of look at me and say, well, do you have an account? And I think, yes, actually I do. I opened an account. I'm currently not on any state or federal benefits at this time. But one, it makes incredible interest rate compared to my banks. But two, I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. I might walk out and get hit by a bus that, has nothing to do with my current disabilities, but now I have a new one. I may be hit by a bus. I may, something may happen. And so I opened an account when I became eligible. And it's really, I love to watch it grow. I throw maybe $10 or $20 in a month. You don't have to do a ton. I just have it, and that's not all the time. I just have it where if I've got an extra $10 or $20 in my account because the bills were a little lower that month, I'll throw it in there. Like I said, it earns way better interest rate than my bank. I believe at the end of last year, it closed at just under a 4% interest rate. for the savings account. And I thought, I earn like 23 cents a quarter on, maybe a year, on my savings accounts. But, so it is a benefit. I'm saving, to cover insurance when I retire, because I won't be Social Security age. But, so that money is going into my account that I can pay for my insurance, or, car repair, or my travel, because I love to travel. And so one of the questions I get asked a lot is, well, what can a able savings account cover? And the IRS has determined that they define it as anything that is going to increase or maintain your health, your independence, or your quality of life. So rent, food, transportation, my vacations. I can take a vacation, I can pay for my vacation, I can't take my kids and pay for theirs, but I can pay for mine. It is, it's basically anything. On one webinar that I was on, somebody said, what can't it pay for? And this was not me saying it, but they said, well, gambling, illegal drugs, and prostitution. And somebody said, well, what if that increases my quality of life? They said, use cash. So it basically will cover a number of things. I did have, in one presentation, I had somebody ask me, they said they pay their rent with their credit card because they like to get the points. And they said, can we pay the credit card with the ABLE account? And I said, that's a good question. So I didn't know the answer, so I told them, I said, let me ask the powers that be that are not me, and I'll get back with you. And so I contacted the National Resource Center, and I explained the situation, and they said, that's really great, simply because with your Visa or your MasterCard or whatever, if you're putting your rent on it, oftentimes you're putting other things. And so if you're using your ABLE account and saying, well, say your rent's $500. If your rent's $500, come find me after, because I'd like to know where you live. You've got 17 roommates, and so you're paying your $500. So they said, if the rent's $500 and you then make an ABLE account or a payment to that credit card from your ABLE account for $500, chances are you've got other things on there, and then interest and everything else. And Visa is not saying, oh, this is just for rent. So they're applying it to the whole card, and they said that's a really gray area. Somebody could do it, but they said that they would recommend not. To date, nobody has, on the webinars that I'm on, nobody has heard of anybody being audited yet. I don't know. Yeah, I always tell people save receipts if it's like a larger purchase. But so far, nobody has been audited yet. And the worst case scenario, if you do make, say you do go gambling, you go get down the jackpot, and you're like, the only thing paying out is the ATM, and you put your ABLE card in and you get $200 out, the worst thing that's going to happen is they are going to then count that towards income, and you may lose benefits for 1 month. That generally that's not a big issue, so. But still, don't go to jackpot and get the $200 out. So Idaho joined when the legislation passed last year. Gosh, it's only me. Last year, allowing Idaho to open an ABLE account. The state treasurer took a look at. There were a couple things that we looked at. She looked at if Idaho had their own program. What would that look like? And that was really, really expensive for the people putting money into the account. And so we kind of knocked that one off the table. And then she looked at 2 national consortiums because it was a lot more cost effective to join a group and share the fees and the costs. And so we looked at Indiana, who is the National ABLE Alliance, and then we looked at Ohio, which is the lead state for the STABLE program. Indiana had like a 92-page contract with a lot of things that were snuck in there, and Ohio, which was stable accounts, did not. They were very straightforward. They're very customer focused. In fact, stable, I think about 3 years ago, they lowered the fee. There was an annual fee that was like $35, and then they lowered it to $27 a year because they said, we're making money off of these able accounts, and we're making more than we actually need. And we've got other programs that we can make money off of. This isn't what we want to do. We just need to be able to cover the cost that it's costing us. They dropped it again, I believe last year. And I told them, I said, nobody does this. Nobody looks at my accounts or my bills and says, we're making money. Don't worry about it. We'll pay less. And then in January of this year, they actually eliminated the annual fees for any state that was a member of that consortium. Idaho chose to go with stable, which is, and they're actually the largest able program. They're the oldest, and they had the lowest fees. And so Idaho ended up joining the stable program out of Ohio. Yay, thank you for clapping. This is exciting. Sorry, I've kind of lost any pep I had. Today's Friday. I've had something each day this week, and I thought, oh, everything happened this week. The whole year I've been good, and everything happened this week. So Idaho joined the ABLE program. Like I said, January 1st, they eliminated all the annual fees for the program. They also federally, they raised the age for eligibility for the ABLE account. It used to be 26. And so you had to have a documented disability prior to 26. They raised it to 46. They estimate that opens it up for 6 million individuals around the country, and includes 1 million veterans. I think that's a low number because a lot of people that are eligible aren't necessarily marking that they have a disability on the census. They aren't necessarily marking that there's a disability on all the paperwork. I don't. I just mark. I will now because I thought, well, that's a low number. But when I'm filling out paperwork, I don't mark that I have a disability. However, so I think 6 million is a really, really low number. I think the last webinar I was on, out of the eligible individuals in the country that could open an ABLE account, I think it was like 13% had an account, which is really, really low. Again, I think there's some questions on what a disability is, or a lot of times we use the word disability and people don't necessarily identify it as having a disability. They think, well, I take meds for this, or I do this, and this is just me. My disability wasn't diagnosed before 26 because I didn't realize that I had one necessarily. I thought that the way my brain worked was the way everyone's worked. It wasn't until I was older that I was like, wait, your mind doesn't go faster than your mouth, and you don't do this, and you don't fixate on this. And so there were a lot of things that I didn't realize were even a disability. And again, a lot of people are like, well, I don't have a physical disability. I'm not on Social Security. I'm not doing this, but they're still eligible and they don't realize it. So, ABLE accounts are good. So then let's see, I'm trying to think. I talk about ABLE so much, I get excited, and usually people, I start to see that their eyes glaze over and they're like, oh, shut up. So I try to keep it higher level, and just do an overview, and that's usually when somebody calls me, I'll say, okay, do you know about ABLE? And if so, do you want me to give a brief overview and then ask questions, or what? Because I could go on about ABLE forever and ever, and usually people are asleep by the end. But so some of the things, like I mentioned, some of the things that ABLE accounts can be used for, groceries, your health and wellness, rent, any assistive technology or medical supplies. And then another question I get a lot is there's things called special needs trusts that I'll get asked, well, which are able accounts better or special needs trust better, or, which is which. I'm not an attorney, I don't even play one on TV, so I cannot say, but I do know that oftentimes, able accounts and special needs trusts actually work very well together. I got a question, yay. Yes.
If you said that you didn't fill out that you were disabled and all that, how do you prove that you have that disability?
Oh, perfect question. Thank you. So, because I don't receive SSI or SSDI, and there's no, so I can't prove my disability that way. If you are not on SSI or SSDI, there is a physician statement, and it's actually, it's not a huge document. It's a 1 page that you take to your doctor. They put your name in, your diagnosis, that the disability occurred prior to age 46, and they sign it. You don't actually even need to send that form in when you're opening the ABLE account. You just have it, keep it in your files in case, again, you're ever asked or audited. So that's how I did. I took it to my doctor and had him certify that my disability. And then you don't send in medical records, which is kind of nice. It's not like Social Security where you send in the 17 books of all your documents. You just have your doctor fill out the form. And again, it's a 1 page. I think the instructions are 2 pages, but telling them to fill out this 1 page, but it's your name, your diagnosis that it occurred before age 46, and their signature. And so that's fantastic. I've got another question, yes.
I have several questions. So I'll just roll through them and then you can, so number 1, what's the limit on how much money you can put in it? Number 2, when the person dies, does Idaho go and collect on that money and take it away from the family that would maybe pay for things, et cetera, with it? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, and then, what was the other one? How do you open it? Some of the basic facts, not the overall, but like, how do we do it kind of stuff.
You want to know we
want to know some like short little facts.
Awesome, yes. Okay, so the first question, the limit goes up a little bit generally every year that you can put in, and that this year is $20,000. And that can be a combination of the money that the individual who owns the account puts in and any family, friends, anything like that. Excuse me, if somebody is working, there is if they're working and they're not contributing to like a 401k or an employer-sponsored retirement, they can actually put an additional like $15,946. I don't get into that too much because 20,000 is a lot a year anyway. And so this year you can put $20,000 in and continue throughout each year with an overall limit of $100,000. There's one person in Idaho that's got an account of $100,000, or that's over. Someone just pointed to them, so we're gonna be friends. Normally, and the thing is if you get to that cap, usually if somebody's up at that amount, they're saving for something major, maybe a house, something like that. Say you had $100,000, or let's say 999,000, or anyway, $1 less, 99,999, that's it. Say you have that and you didn't want to hit that 100,000 because you didn't want your benefits to be suspended. Once you spend that down, say they put 50,000 on a down payment for a home, that drops it and you can build back up to that $100,000. There is, I believe, a lifetime maximum of like 500 and some odd $1,000 in there, but again, I haven't hit that yet. If somebody passes away, well, when we're all going to pass away, but when somebody passes away, if they have an ABLE account, Medicaid estate recovery can come in and take that and attach that money or try to recoup that money. There's a couple things with that though. One, the individual, if they are under, I think age 55, and not living in an institution, they don't do that. So it's it's over a certain age or living in an institution that they can recoup that money. However, ABLE accounts can actually be used to pay for final expenses. So say the person passes away, you can use the money in their ABLE account to cover final expenses, medical, that type of stuff, that was the end of life. So you just keep that documentation that's what you did, is you used it for final expenses, and then when a state recovery asks, you've got that documentation. Opening, I was like, there was one more. Opening an ABLE account, there's a couple different ways. One, you can do it online. That account is, or that website is idahoable.com. It is about, takes about 15 minutes, well, 10 to 15 minutes. It took me about 20 because I saw something shiny and had to go off and do it. But it takes about 15 minutes. It also is very easy. You start with your email address. Then once you get into it, it will ask kind of the same questions. Do you have a disability? Are you on SSI or SSDI? Do you have a disability that occurred after age or before age 46? What type of disability? And they've got, I believe it's 5 choices. And then they've got explanations behind each type of disability category. And so you fill that. You can hook your bank account to the ABLE account through a third party person like Plaid. I believe it's Plaid that they use, and you can just transfer the money. You do need to open the account with $25. They actually will match, at least right now, they are matching that first $25. But you need to open it with at least $25. And then you can, as far as continued contributions, you can either say you are getting, you're having it taken from your check, either your work, SSI, SSDI, whatever. You can do a direct deposit, a partial direct deposit. You can do a one-time, like I said, I do it where I've got an extra $10 or $20, I throw it in. Or you can say, I want $10 transferred on the 15th of every month. So I've got one question over here, and then I'll get to you. Yes.
Okay.
Was there?
Hold on.
Okay.
Thank you. I have a question. If you live in subsidized housing, when you're collecting or putting that money away in that account, does that affect that? Because I know people in subsidized housing can't have so much money, right, have to pay more.
Yep, that's actually one of the programs that it's protected, that it does not count against subsidized housing. So Medicaid, SNAP, housing, SSI, most of those state and federal programs, it's built into, not only is it federal law that it doesn't, we actually, when we had this legislation passed, it states it in there for all, the ones that check eligibility. So if every once in a while something comes up, usually with Medicaid, when somebody's recertifying for Medicaid, one of the caseworkers will send them a thing saying, you're not eligible, you have an Idaho 8. You have this savings account. If that happens, I've had people call me, and I will contact health and welfare and say, no, this is what it is. Or they'll send the statute, Idaho statute, saying this is not counted. And so, and usually when that happens, if for any reason you are denied for a benefit solely based on like the Idaho ABLE account, you can always give me a call. A lot of times what it is it's either a new person, because a lot of these places are having turnover. So it's a new employee, or what I found with health and welfare is a lot of times there's a department that they work on. It's for the age blind and disabled. So they work with that group. And then there's a family side. And a lot of times it's a caseworker from the family side trying to help out. And they aren't really familiar with the different benefits that come with it.
I had a quick question on the end of, so if somebody passes away with the account, like the state, that they don't go in and take the money, can you then, is the money able to be dispersed to descendants?
Yes, yeah, so if they don't, either there's not a Medicaid claim, or Medicaid estate recovery does not come after them for whatever reason, whether they don't have any benefits that they're recouping or whatever, they're under the age, yeah, that money goes just into probate, everything else like normal.
Is there any part of this that is taxable?
So, I'm also not an accountant, but the money that's in, the able account and the interest is, as of right now, I can't, who knows what's gonna happen, but as of right now is not taxable. I've got, let's see, a couple questions.
We've got time for 2 more questions.
Oh, hold on. Who's talking? I have. Oh, okay, one more?
You got time for 2 more.
2 more questions, he said.
I had 2, but you don't have to take both of them. Do you have to, on the death benefit, do you have to have somebody listed on that account in order to access it? A beneficiary, thank you. And then you said there were 2 ways to sign up for this. One was online and then the other.
There's my ADHD showing, huh? Yes, so you can list a beneficiary, and actually able accounts, if they're, this is a good way to, are there any health and welfare people in here? Okay, this is a good way to get around. This is not in the minutes. With able accounts, you can actually list a beneficiary if it's a sibling that also has a disability and will qualify for an able account. So, you can do that if you've got a sibling that has a disability, you can transfer it that way. But otherwise, the money, it would just go through regular like probate or whatever setup, or if you've got that will, then it's gonna list who can access that. The second question, yes, the second way you can sign up besides going online is we do have paper forms that you can sign up with on paper. So, yes. Oh, there's lots of questions, and I have one more.
We only have time for 1 more all.
I will stick around after. Let's see, one more question. Okay, yes.
My son has an able account in Virginia. So if we want to open one in Idaho for him, can we open up another one, or would we need to close that one to open up one in Idaho?
That's an awesome question. So no, you can only have one account. However, you don't need to close it. You can just do a transfer. So you can reach out to Idaho Able, and they can do a transfer from the Virginia one to open an Idaho one. So I guess we're out of questions, but I do have some information on Able. I've got in Braille, large print, and some booklets. I think I've also got some electronic copies in my pocket. So if you want to go online to open the account, it's idahoable.com, or you can go to the State Independent Living Council's website, which I've got a page on there that talks all about ABLE, and that's SILC, so State Independent Living Council, silc.idaho.gov. My name's Jamie Davis. You can reach out to me. I love to talk ABLE, so my phone number, the phone number to our office is 208-334-3800. Yes, you're memorizing. That is also on the documentation, on the books and stuff. And my email address is there.
Can you
So,
repeat that?
phone number 208-334-3800. And then I will leave all the booklets. I will find out where to leave the booklets and the Braille and all that good stuff. Where am I leaving it?
If you could just leave them at the table the registration table in the front, and grab them there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Jamie, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Crystal, let's do a quick door prize.
Yay! Let's do, $50 for the Snake River chapter, since all you lovely people came here early. And a pair of socks from Joe Grover and the Cycle for Independence. And it's your lucky whatever pair of socks you get.
Come on, Crystal, we're getting my favorite.
Yep. I don't know if they're orange and black or blue and orange or.
They are black and yellow, Crystal.
Andy, you got it? Yeah. And Kevin, draw them out.
Yeah. So she won't be able to.
Yay, Vicky.
Earlier lunch, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little extra time.
All right, everybody. So next, now on the agenda, I already had Beth earlier, right? So now it is actually Beth from the Idaho Commission.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Good morning, everyone. I'm Beth Cunningham, the administrator for the Idaho Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired. I did bring some people with me, and there's a lot of people out in the audience too from ICBVI. So, but I wanted to introduce you to our new Chief of Vocational Rehabilitation Services. This is Caleb Tibbetts, and I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about himself in a few minutes. But first, I just wanted to provide you with an update on things that we've been busy with this year. In addition to hiring Caleb, we also have hired a new counselor for the Pocatello area, Gary Redford. He brings 12 years of vocational rehabilitation experience and started in February and went through Shades training. Also, upcoming staff changes include that after 30 years with the agency, Linda Upton is retiring from her vocational rehabilitation job in Twin Falls at the end of May. So we're really going to miss her. She's been a great asset to the clients of Twin Falls. Up here with us, we also have Chris Johnson, and he's going to be telling you about a special project that he's involved in a few minutes as well. So just to give you kind of an overview of the numbers of people that we served in fiscal year 2025, we served a total of 1,925 clients in independent living. Below 55, we served 104 people. Our low vision clinic served 381 people. Older blind, 55 and over, we served 663 clients. Sight restoration, we provided services to 50 people. And vocational rehabilitation served 508 people. And then our one-time independent living and independent living older blind referrals were 219. So I'm sure all of you are aware that the state of Idaho has had a tough financial year this year, and due to that, there have been some cuts. The governor started the year off with a 3% holdback, and then JFAC asked for an additional 1%. So we had a total reduction of funding of 4% for fiscal year 26, which is $72,400. And then for fiscal year 27, they're expecting another 5% cut, which is $90,700. So due to that, our core client services that are impacted include just the number of participants served in site restoration. We are losing $10,000 in site restoration. And then 2% reduction will be covered by just decreasing our travel to regional offices and some in-person oversight and training and guidance. And then about $13,300 will come from service dollars from vocational rehabilitation. And another $13,000 in operating for vocational rehabilitation. In addition, there will be no raises for state employees this year. And so I just wanted to let you know, in case you're wondering kind of how we managed those cuts. We didn't lose any people. So we're not expecting a reduction in force at this time. So also, I did want to let you know, speaking of the national convention that was brought up earlier, that we are sending 2 staff, Efren, who is our new orientation and mobility specialist, and Steve Archibald, who is our independent living coordinator, will be going to this national convention this year. I got to go 2 years ago to Orlando, and it was great. So I really want to have, hopefully, when we can afford it, at least 1 staff to go every year. In early April, Caleb and I were in Washington, D.C. for our CSAVR meeting, and we met with staffers of each of the Idaho's congressmen while we were there. We emphasized the importance of maintaining our independence as an agency in the work that we do. We also advocated for the importance of the Rehab Services Administration if the U.S. Department of Education is eliminated, that we would hope to be moved to the Department of Labor and maintain the same kind of grant funding that we are supported by now. We also advocated for the COLA, that the Voc Rehab COLA that we're hoping to get this year. Our grant funding has been flat for the past few years. I did want to tell you guys one short success story, just to kind of give you some, paint a picture of outcome of one of our clients. And so that person, I'm sorry. That person is one of Matt's clients who lives in Idaho Falls. We've been working with this young woman since she was a freshman in high school. She came to our summer view program. Later, she actually worked as a teacher in the summer view program. She considers herself a technology junkie, and ICBBI assisted her with new devices that came out to make sure that her educational needs were met. And she graduated high school with a 4.0, and then she attended ISU for a degree in social work. And she has recently completed her master's degree in social work and passed her licensure, and her ICBBI counselor, Matt, recommended that she apply for an open vocational rehabilitation counselor position in the Idaho Falls office, and she was hired. So she is now working for IDVR and continues to be a rock star in that agency, and we're just really proud of her accomplishments. Next, I wanted to let you know about, and some of you may already know about this first one, but let you know about a project that we've been working with the Idaho Dance Theater on putting this together, an art exhibit and workshop specifically to bring art and to engage in art and dance with people who are blind. Several of our staff have dedicated their personal time to helping to bring this project to life. And it will be happening in Garden City at the Create Gallery. And this is gonna be June 8th through the 13th, with a final performance on June 13th. There's gonna be classes in movement and art and lecture demonstrations. And I did bring with me like a schedule, and I can leave that out on the registration table. But I think that's gonna be a really exciting project, and if it goes well, maybe they'll do, additional art exhibits that are designed with and for people who are blind. So then I'm going to be turning this over to both Caleb to introduce himself, and then I'm gonna let Chris tell you about another project that ICBVI is involved in. And if anyone has any questions for me before we do that, we can do it now.
I have a question.
Hold on, let me get a mic too.
Okay.
I'm coming. Who was it?
Ramona.
It's a quick.
Okay.
Can you tell us the next openings on the commission board? We've tried to keep up on the commission board, and I think we've lost track. So we know that Al Schneider is the chair, but I think we've lost track of the others, especially who comes up next.
I don't think I have, I don't want to guess on that, Ramona. So Angela has a list of the current members and when they expire. I know that we do have some coming up this summer. I think possibly the Eastern Idaho, Mark, and Mark Watkins might be coming up next, but Angela has all of that information in each area where people are located and the date that it expires. So I can just get that information and email it to Dana or, to have for the NFB if you want.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, that way it'll be accurate.
Al has it, maybe Al has it in his head.
Do you have it in your head, Al?
Okay, so, all right, so, the vice chair is BJ Stinger, who is from Pocatello. Then there is also, Leanne Gelsky, who is from Emmett and who's going to be speaking here. Is that today?
Actually, she texted me a few minutes ago and there was a huge wreck on the road from Emmett and the traffic stopped and she's not gonna make it out. She's not gonna be here.
Well, you can take her place, Beth. Okay, thanks for
We're
volunteering.
using her time.
We're giving the
All right, so
ICBVI more time, so.
So there's myself and there's BJ Stinger, there's Leanne Gelsky. There is Britt Robbenheimer, whom I'm sure many of you know because she's been on the board for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And she is from the Sandpoint area. And then I am missing who?
Mark Watkins.
Mark Watkins is from Pocatello.
He's from, Rexburg maybe?
Yeah, wherever the college is over there.
Rexburg.
And so I think he is up, his term ends at the end of June. I think Leanne Gelsky may also be up this year. And I believe Leanne is going to renew, and I'm not sure about Mark Watkins.
He's gonna request reappointment.
We believe so, but.
Anything else, Ramona?
Thank you.
I did have a question.
Thank you. This is Jean Marie Kopecky, and my question was just about the classes on movement. And will that be open to, is that just for adults or is that going to be open to school age as well?
That is a great question. And on this sheet, I'm looking to see, I can get you the information of the lady who put this together. I don't know if Marcy, you know?
I think it is open to everyone, yeah.
I haven't heard of any age restrictions, but there's gonna be movement, not seen is what it's titled. Then there's gonna be bumper dance, seeing through the body, a warm-up choreography, blind ballet, bumper dance, art class, sculpture through touch, movement not seen, bumper dance, and guide dogs meet and greet, and puppy play, and then food prep, and then another choreography. So it should be fun, and I think most of the classes are kind of happening in the evening, but there may be some during the day as well.
There is some during.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I had a question. Thanks, Beth, for your presentation. It's good.
Thank you.
What, so I just wonder if you could give us a report, an update on what's happening in the BEP these days.
Yeah, I wish I had brought more information, but BEP has had a lot of success recently. We have now the Chinden, it used to be the HP campus cafeteria. It's a large cafeteria that was just awarded to Travis Beck. And he's going to be taking over that over the next month or so, I believe. We had a third party doing it for the past year and a half or so, Roosters. ISP, Daniel's here and can probably give you an update on that, but it's going strong. We do work with a third party in addition to Daniel at ISP. We've got a few new micro markets. I believe we have 7 vendors and a person who is just starting the training, an 8th person.
Then there's Mountain Home Air Force Base.
Yes, Mountain Home Air Force Base started up a new contract that Tony Bridges is doing in addition to his main cafeteria below the LBJ building. And he is in charge, I believe, of maintenance or kind of like facilities cleaning, that kind of thing. We've got a lot going on out in the INL, the eastern part. We do not have anyone in northern Idaho at this time. We have a third party managing that because our vendor moved out of the state that used to be in northern Idaho.
So who's doing the INL in the East Idaho?
It's Travis Beck also.
Plus the highways out there.
Yes, I guess he does. I'm not really I haven't heard about him doing the highways out there. Craig still does them down in the southern part. I don't know if we have the highways stops in eastern Idaho.
Yeah, we do.
He's not moving to Boise. It's gonna be a lot of driving for Travis and managing. So I'm not, he's definitely gonna be hiring people, but it will be challenging.
Thank you.
Yeah, and on our website, the minutes from our last board meeting that were, I believe it was March 11th, they're on there, and Justin did a report that will give you a lot better information than I just did. If you want to go on our website and look at those minutes from that last March report, more detail.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hold on.
So, the information for, the dance studio stuff, on June 8th through 13th, I just wanted to confirm, you said that you'll leave information about that on the registration table?
Yes, and also, Dana, I believe, has been in touch with, Martha Channer, who has been the lead person putting this together. So I don't know if she also has some information. But some of our staff who have been involved are Marcy and Kebby and Allison. So and Earl, so they may also have good information for you as well.
Okay, and do you have braille copies?
Yeah, braille
I
copies.
don't have any at this time, but if you could give me your email address, I could send it to you digitally. Would that be helpful? I just got this yesterday, so.
Yes, that would be helpful.
Okay, just give me your email address and I'll send that to you. I'm writing it down.
Okay, so it's 22 EMILIAL@gmail.com.
Okay. I'll send you that schedule.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Caleb to introduce himself and.
We have some questions.
Oh, sorry, okay, more questions.
This is Tom Page from Kansas with the question. Wait for the microphone, I'm sure. Oh, over. Thank you. Yes, this is Tom Page at Kansas. I wanted to return to the Business Enterprise Program, which I assume is what BEP stands for.
Yes, yes.
Okay. One of the issues we've got in my state is a real conflict between vendors who are third-party or commission vendors versus those who are on-site vendors or more hands-on. Do you guys allow the third-party here? And if so, have you considered policies limiting that?
We allow a third party if we don't have a vendor to run it. And we also allow a third party to work with a vendor on site. All of our vendors are required to maintain a certain amount of time on site.
Okay, so time on site is the
Yes.
policy. Gotcha.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, here's Caleb and then Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. So yeah, like Beth said, I am Caleb Tibbetts. So I'm the new Mike Walsh. Today's actually marks my 5 months at ICBBI. And I'm coming from Idaho Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. I was there close to 10 years. I did a lot of different roles at IDVR, and so I have a pretty broad background of the VR program. I've been a general counselor, I've had a school to work caseload, and then I've done some apprenticeship counseling as a statewide apprenticeship coordinator. And then my last few years I was on the management team. And so really have a good understanding of the entirety of the VR program and all the different parts of it that we serve, being students, adults, and then our employers. Let's see, so that's just a little bit about me. It's been a good 5 months so far. I didn't have as much experience with some of the disabilities related to blindness and visual impairment, but I've spent a good portion of the last 5 months learning those. The team has been really helpful, and we have some really great counselors around the state and really good leadership at ICBBI, so that's been great. I did a few weeks of shades training at the ATC, which was really great and helped me kind of learn some of those things associated with blindness skills. So that's been good. Just wanted to quickly kind of talk about where I'd like to see the VR program at ICBBI go in the coming years, hopefully, when I'm here. Obviously want to continue to expand the program, get our name out there. Outreach is really important, and making sure that we have strong numbers coming in, using a lot of data to make decisions. And so that's been good to get some of that going. Beth and I would really like to see some apprenticeships expanding. RSA cares a lot about, and it's really good for our clients to have measurable skill gains, credential attainment. So getting more individuals in school, but maybe not just your traditional sense of school, doing things like apprenticeships or on-the-job training. It's really important to establish relationships with employers, and VR programs around the nation are really moving to that model of serving employers and then being able to connect our clients with those employers as appropriate. So trying to do some more of those kind of non-traditional things for our clients and opportunities for our clients. Like I said, with employers or, workforce development training. And then of course, our traditional college is always important as well. So that's kind of where I see the program moving, just continuing to get our name out there, expand our services, expand the opportunities, especially in a non-traditional sense. And so it's kind of where my vision is for it. So I'll turn it over to Chris Johnston, and he's got something really exciting to talk about. Thank you.
All right, just let me. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Johnston, and I've met some of you. I haven't met a lot of you though, so I'll just take a few minutes and introduce myself. I'm Chris Johnston. I'm the industrial arts instructor at the ATC, the Idaho Commission for Applied. Thank you very much. I've been there for 6 years now. I started off my journey with ICBVI as a client about 8 years ago, and I was a VR client. Rocio Gill was my counselor, and I have retinitis pigmentosa, so I'm slowly losing my vision over time. And I was, after about a 20-year career in the constructions and trades, I was getting to where I couldn't read blueprints anymore and struggling, and Rocio and the rest of the team there took care of me and reassured me and gave me, aids and appliances and magnifiers. And anyway, so just coming, they told me about the ATC, and they said, you should check out the ATC. I think it would do you some good. And although it sounded like a good place and I probably needed the skills, I couldn't quite walk away from my employment. I couldn't afford to come to training. So anyways, talking with Rocio one day, I let her know that I was really worried about my future. And once I lost more sight, I told her, I wouldn't be able to do the job that I was doing anymore. And so she, just in a kind of a thought experiment or whatever she was doing, she asked me, if you could do anything you wanted to do, and don't use your sight as a limiting factor, what would that be? And I thought about that, and I really couldn't come up with a good answer. I had done construction my whole life, and so out of the blue, I just said, that shop downstairs, I'd like to be a wood shop teacher, and that led into questioning. I said, why is that wood shop always, the lights are always off, there's nobody in there. Every time I come here, there's nobody to talk to. And she said, well, we're actually looking for an instructor right now. And she said, oh my goodness, you should apply. I think you might be a good teacher. So I was like, yeah, right. So anyway, she kind of talked me into applying, and I did. It was a long shot. I knew I didn't have any high expectations, but lo and behold, they called me back and called me in for an interview, and the rest is history. I've been there for 6 years, and I absolutely love my job. And thank you. And so as an ATC instructor, I got the opportunity as an employee to go through 3 months of the shade training, and I got to go through all the classes, and I was fully immersed in the training. And this was during the COVID shutdown. I was the only student at the ATC because I was an employee. We couldn't work with clients, so I got one-on-one intense training, and it really changed my perception and my outlook on my future. I no longer, after just about a month and a half into that training, I no longer, that fear of my future just kind of subsided, and it went away, it dissolved. And then when I finished my my drop-off lesson in O&M when Kevin drove me around the block and around the roundabouts and pulled over the car and let me out and said, okay, I'll meet you back at the commission. And I made it back. That really was a confidence boost. And every class I have stories like that where it has impacted my confidence and improved my perception of blindness and what I am capable of, what you guys are all capable of. So anyways, that's just, I haven't really probably had an opportunity to share that story with a lot of you. So, but the reason I'm here today, number one, I'm a new member of the NFB. I've been, I think I got my official email welcoming me about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so this is my first state convention, and so I'm checking it out. And then also, I wanted to share with you guys, on top of the woodworking that we do, you guys know that we do, or some of you know that we do a once a week ceramics class. So I help teach the ceramics class. And then about 1.5 years ago, I was talking with a student, and we were talking about gardening, and then that conversation led into me bringing some supplies from home, some soil from my own garden, some small fabric planters, and we fooled around with seeds. We started seeds from, or we started some plants from seed, took care of them. We asked Beth if we could fill up the courtyard with a bunch of grow bags, and she was on board. And so last year was our first year of trying gardening at the ATC. So it's kind of like an extracurricular thing that we do during our lunch hour, before classes start, kind of a 0 hour shop class. And we have a full group of students and teachers and people in the community that are helping out with this. So last year was our first year. We grew tomatoes, peppers, basil, and it's really been a positive thing. And we had a person last year, as a client last year, that didn't really want anything to do with gardening, never experienced it. And I put some little basil seeds in his hand and talked him into getting his hands dirty and putting those seeds in some dirt and adding some water. And then, a couple of weeks later, the seedling sprouted, and he was blown away, just amazed that that little seed started to grow. And then he didn't really care about much of anything else that we were growing out there, but he was really hyper-focused on this one basil plant. And he watched it grow throughout the summer. And at the end of the summer, we went out and harvested it. I showed him how to pick it. We cleaned it off. We stuck it in a dehydrator and filled up a gallon-sized Ziploc bag of fresh basil that was dehydrated that he took out of there with him. So, and he was just super excited, and I was super excited for him. And so we might have made him a basil gardener. I'm not sure if he's here. He might be here, but okay. So this year, Efren Morano, our new O&M instructor, and I have been dreaming about expansion of our garden and beautifying. So the garden is located at our building downtown, and it's on the east side of our building. We have a little U-shaped courtyard. And right now, we just have 25 or 30 of these black fabric grow pots that are sitting directly on the ground, and which is just fine. That's all we need. But the grow pots are leaving like stains on the concrete, and it's not allowing proper drainage and so forth. So we've been kind of dreaming up this idea of building a bunch of raised boxes to put the grow pots in, and to kind of beautify the space and make it look like a proper garden. And so the Boise Bench Lions Club heard about our gardening project, and they wanted to talk with us and find out more about it. And so Efren and I went over and spoke about the garden project, and I built a concept box, or not a concept, but yeah, it's a concept box. And I brought it here today. It's going to be an auction item, but it's a 20-inch by 20-inch square by 20 inches tall, wooden raised garden box. And the idea is that you fill it up about 2 inches with drainage rock on the bottom, and then you put the fabric grow pot directly on top of the drainage rock, and that will eliminate, you can put it on the concrete and the water can drain and it can dry and not stain the concrete. And anyway, so we went and talked about this project, and they asked us how much we thought it was gonna cost, and I gave them a number. And they went back and thought about it for a little bit and talked about it with their board. And a couple of weeks later, they got a hold of us and said that they would like to fully fund the project. All the material cost they gave us. So currently at the ATC, on top of the regular shop curriculum that all my students are working on, in all their spare time before classes, at lunch, sometimes after classes at the end of the day, the wood shop is just super busy with construction of these 25 raised garden boxes. And so we're pretty excited about the expansion and the community partnership with the Boise Lions Club. So I guess I'll wrap up. I'm being told that I'm running out of time. I'm talking too long. So I'm just kidding. So if you guys have any questions for me, just find me throughout the next couple of days, and I'd love to share more or answer any questions. So, and I look forward to meeting you guys.
Hey, before we allow you to sit down, this is Al. I just wanted to say that I know from the clients and from the staff at ICBBI, they think you're awesome. That's what all I hear. And then secondly, this is actually why I wanted to stand up, not to roll your hand. But would you just speak for a moment about the 2 wooden flags that are going to be auctioned off at our banquet?
Al beat me to it. I was gonna say, we have a lot of nice auction items that Chris has made, and I was gonna have him do it. That's why I was cutting him a little short, so he could describe those.
All right, so so I brought some woodworking projects. Some of the projects the students, actually every project that I brought, the students have helped me in some way, shape, or form. But I brought a couple of door prizes, some wooden signs. I had a student he wanted to make a sign. He wanted to be here today, but he couldn't make it. But we were kind of thinking the theme of the anniversary of the United States, the 250th anniversary. We were kind of sticking with that theme when we were coming up with ideas of projects to bring. So the student made a sign that says USA 1776, and he painted the red, white, and blue on the USA, and then the 1776 part is spray painted black, and it's on a nice piece of alder, and he's done a nice edge detail on it and put some wood finish on it, and it's beautiful. The next door prize that I brought was a sign that is made of solid maple, and it says, "Who are we, NFB 2026?" And both of those signs are hangable on a wall. They have a chain attached to them, and they've all been sanded and made as nice as possible. And then, as I've mentioned before, I brought the raised garden box. So this exact garden box is exactly what we're building right now in the shop. And we're going to build 25 more of them. And this first one, I purchased the material and built to kind of take with me to show the Lions Club what we were trying to build. So that'll be an auction item. And then I've got a couple of American flags, some wooden American flags that we built. And one of them is a 4-foot by 2-foot American flag that's it's painted red, white, and blue. It has all 50 stars, and then it's been distressed. So it looks like it's weathered. It looks like it's been beat up in the weather, and it's got a nice clear coat on it. And the flag that I'm mostly excited about seeing how for you guys to check out is possibly the world's first 100% tactile wooden American flag. including 50 tactile stars, all 13 tactile stripes, and the union, the flag union where the stars are is all, it's completely identifiable as the US flag. And then on three of the white stripes, I've included, I had to develop a way to put Braille onto the stripes. And I didn't want to just glue a bunch of dots on and have people pick at them and have them fall off. So I used a plunge router and I made a jig, and making the jig and figuring out the logistics of how to precisely drill these holes and insert the wooden dowels, that was the toughest part. But I figured it out after about a month of playing around, and I figured it out. So I've got three phrases in Braille that celebrate the 250th anniversary of the U.S. One of them says liberty since 1776. The other phrase says 250 years of freedom. And then the third phrase is one nation under God. And so it's jumbo Braille. It's actually super jumbo Braille. But I tried to go smaller and I could not. I mean, I probably could, but it would have taken me a year. So, but yeah, looking forward to having you guys all check it out. And now I'll hand it over to Shane. Thank you.
I got a chance to build the flag. It is amazing. It really is something. So it'll be a great auction item. We're going to have that as one of our dinner auction items. So our next thing, and I know we're running a little behind, but it's because we're adjusting the schedule on the fly. Because as you heard, one of our speakers won't be able to come. So, but our next thing is a fit break. So Marcy.
All right.
Yes, I would. Yep, I got it.
All right, everybody stand up. Stand behind your chair or to the side of your chair, or you can even stand in front of your table. Make some space for all of you. We've been on we've been sitting down for a while, so we need to stand up. Okay. So whether you're standing behind your chair or standing up in front of your table, now be mindful of your neighbors so you don't whack them in the face or in the arm or something. But on an inhale, let's bring your arms out to the side and over your head. Stretch your fingers up toward the sky, wiggle them. And then let's exhale to the left. So you get a nice good stretch along the right side of your body. All right, release, lower that arm down, and let's go to the other side. On an inhale, bring your other arm out and up. Reach for the sky, wiggle your fingers up toward the ceiling, and then exhale to the right. We love our neighbors. And release, go ahead and lower your arm down. You can place your hands on the back of your chair or on the table for support. And then on an inhale, come up onto your toes, stretching your calves, getting some stretch in your legs. No, we're not doing that, Crystal. And exhale, lower down. Let's do that again. Inhale, coming up onto your toes, feeling that stretch in your calves. And release. Lower your feet down. Very good. Now find your chair. Come and sit down again. And if you need to, you can push your chair back away from the table or turn it to face away from somebody. All right, lean back on your chair. Wow, my voice is all scratchy. Lean back on your chair. And then let's stretch out our legs a little bit more. So one at a time. Inhale, extend your left leg out in front of you. And go ahead and point and flex your foot. Get some movement in your feet and your ankles. Do some ankle circles. Get some circulation movement in the foot. You've been sitting for a while. And release. Lower your leg down. Let's go to your other leg. Extend your right leg out.
Point and flex your foot. Maybe do some ankle circles. Very good. And release, lower that leg down. Now, you can either just cross your left leg over your right, or if you want to rest your left ankle on top of your right thigh, so you're kind of making a figure four with your legs. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, lean over, or hinge forward at the waist and lean your upper body down towards your bent leg. Kind of like you're gonna reach down and scratch your leg or something. You're leaning forward. Inhale, come back up. And then on your next exhale, let's twist to the left. So you're turning towards your bent leg. So you're twisting to the left. And exhale, release, turn to the center. Lower your left leg down. Let's do that on the right. You can either cross your right leg over your left, or you can do that figure four stretch where you rest your right ankle on the top of your left leg. All right, and then take a deep breath in and exhale, hinge forward at the waist, lowering your upper body down towards your bent leg. And inhale, come back up. And then on your next exhale, let's twist to the right. So you're stretching your body a little bit different way. You can even look over your shoulder as you do this. Inhale, release. Exhale, lower your arm down. Let's take another deep breath in, arms out and up over your head, stretch toward the sky. Exhale, hinge forward from the waist, coming down, rest, or lowering your upper body down to rest on your front thighs. Place your hands on your thighs, lift yourself up. Let's do that again. Breathe in, arms come out and up, reach toward the sky. Exhale, lowers down, lowering your upper body down towards your thighs. Inhale, rest your hands on your thighs, come back up. Let's just bring our arms out and up. Bring your hands together above your head. Bring your hands down to your heart. And thank you very much.
Good job. Good job.
All right.
Very well.
Okay, I know that we're running a little behind schedule, but let me kind of give you a couple updates of schedule. So our next presenter will be Jean from the IESDB. And I'm going to give her as much time as she needs because our other speakers after that are unable to come, as you have heard. So we're kind of adjusting the schedule on the fly. If Jean is okay, I'm going to do a quick door prize.
Yay!
And then we'll have Jean come up, and then after Jean, I've got some other speakers to start getting prepared. Leslie with nominations, and Joe with the Cycle for Independence. So let's do a quick door prize, Crystal.
Shane, what about IS? When is the gal? Okay, sorry. Never mind.
Okay.
Door prize.
Oh, I met the other day.
Okay, you guys, I got a super steak tomato from one of the students that grew one of Chris's students. Got it?
Tomato plant.
It's a tomato plant, it's a big steak, right?
It's about 18 inches tall right now.
Yeah,
so
it's
this
hitting me in the face off the table, so. Yeah, beef, is it beef steak or pig steak?
It's called super steak.
Oh, super steak, sorry, guys.
It's a plant, right?
Yeah.
It's made of
No,
It's a tomato plant.
Yeah, so really good. Scarlett Brown?
Garrett?
Garrett, sorry.
Garrett, are you here? She won't be here. She's recovering.
I think Gareth was just coming for that.
Oh, just okay, put him into that.
He can't win, he's not here. Not here.
Jill Anderson,
Julian.
Julie.
Julie Anderson.
Julie Anderson, sorry. Nope.
Send it to him.
We'll find somebody.
My name should be there.
Cindy Grove.
Cindy Grove, you got it.
I like it. All right,
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I'm putting this in my garden.
nice. All right, well, thank you, Crystal, with the door prize. And we will now turn it over to Jean.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so my name is Jean Marie Kopecky. And it's actually Jean hyphen Marie, so it's a double name. That's what you get for coming from the South. So, I just would like to tell you about the Idaho Educational Services for the Deaf and the Blind, or IESDB. And a little about me, since I've been a part of the program for, I hate to say it, not really, but 38 years. So I started out as a preschool and elementary teacher in the classroom at the School for the Deaf and the Blind. And then I became the O&M/elementary teacher on campus. And then I moved on to outreach. And I served the area of the Magic Valley. My office continued to be in Gooding. And then I was able to become the elite teacher, then assistant director, and now my present position, which is director of outreach for blind and low vision. And along the way, I've gotten to work with all the different agencies. Of course, the Idaho Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired has been there all these years, and I've worked on various camps. And also, we've worked with health and welfare because that's part of our infant toddler program that we are able to go with them. So I've been able to actually live being a supplemental service, and that's what we're mandated by the state of Idaho. We're a supplemental service. So we work alongside the infant toddler program and health and welfare. We also work alongside school districts so that we can help them build programs that's really appropriate for our blind and low vision students. We are also mandated to keep count of all the students from birth all the way through age 2021. And so that's why we work closely with school districts throughout Idaho, so we can actually get an accurate count and report it to the legislature each year. So I would just like to say thank you for having me at your conference. And I'm going to give an overview of the outreach and campus programs. And first of all, though, I want to say thank you to the NSA projects that have supported my staff and also our students. The Braille Challenge was held once again this year, and we have participants both on campus and outreach, with 13 of those on campus. And if you're not, I'm sure you're familiar with Braille Challenge, but as far as the ins and outs of it, students are given Braille tests on different things like spelling, reading comprehension, and just to test their abilities at different levels. And once they do that, they're scored at that age level, and then you can go to nationals. And we've had a couple of our people who have made it to the national level. We were excited because this year too, they have the foundational level, and that's for our beginning Braille readers who, for whatever reason, maybe they are, well, they're just little and they're starting to use it, or maybe there's some cognitive delays, or maybe there's some, they're just lost their vision and then they're learning a new mode. What's cool about this, the Braille Challenge is it's a party. You're taking a test, but you're also having a party. And this year's theme was a luau. And so they had mocktails, so everybody got a Hawaiian drink with a umbrella in it, and they also had hula hoop dancing and a limbo contest. And our ISDB librarian was able to, through grant monies, buy everybody a ukulele. Not a little toy ukulele, but a real ukulele. And so that was pretty exciting. So this year, we had two, of those who were taking the test at grade level, 2 placed in the freshman, 1 in sophomore, and 3 in the varsity level. And their scores will be added to the national pool, and the top 10 students of each testing level will go on to the national level in Los Angeles, California, which will be happening in May. So we hope to hear some good news. I'm also excited, another NFB support that we love is that 2 of our consulting teachers were selected for Teachers of Tomorrow. And I have heard wonderful things about it. We also had another teacher, Andrea Amistoy, who received it a few years ago, and I know Krista will also be talking to you tomorrow about it. But you get to travel all around, you get to meet other people who are blind, low vision, and hear their side. And Summer Corinne and Danielle Jensen were so excited because one of their quote field trips was to go to Washington, D.C. And even though their flights were delayed, a lot of things, they said they learned so much about bills, the process of it going through passing and what it meant for disabilities and visual impairment. And they also got to talk to other blind consumers, even though they had to talk to Idahoans like Joe and Cindy Grover. They were very excited about getting just to get another perspective. So we appreciate that, and I look forward to hearing what other field trips they'll be going on. Right now, we have an interim superintendent. Brian Darcy had been our superintendent for years, and now when he took a job as a superintendent in New York, Paula Mason stepped in, and Paula Mason is the outreach director for deaf, hard of hearing services, and she was still wearing that hat, pushing for it all year, as well as working with the campus and elementary and high school principals. And her background is deaf, hard of hearing, but she's having a busy school year with, and also a definitely high learning curve. So we'll be happy when that job is filled. Right now, they just closed the deadline for applications for the superintendency last Friday. And so the next stage will be that the board of directors will go through the applications and then beginning the interview process. So we're really hoping that we're going to have a good fit for our Idaho model and someone who really, really understands and wants to learn about the needs of our blind, low vision population and our deaf, hard of hearing. Budget has been on our minds. We too did not get raises, unfortunately, for our teachers. And we didn't get a few of the things that we had asked for in our original budget, but we did get health insurance coverage that was needed since it was going up, career ladder movement for our teachers who were receiving their masters, and we did get a bus, which is needed, and a 15-passenger van. So yay for that. Thank you. We have to think positive. Also, we did ask for a new Braille embosser, the really, I guess, commercial kind, you want to say, because our 2 transcriptionists, Susan Baker and Kat Lukes, serve through the Braille Center students throughout the whole state. And so our current embosser is kind of still, it is working. It's had many years of service, but it's getting in that glitchy stage. So while this request was not acknowledged or funded throughout the original budget request, the State Department of Ed is going to fund it through a grant. And this is a $33,000 machine. So we are very excited that we're going to be getting this doing that. And it does both literary Braille and also tachographics. Also in this grant, thanks to the State Department, we're going to have Braille writer repair. Our media specialist on campus is in charge of keeping track and loaning out our Braille writers, our manual Braille writers. And we had a gentleman in Boise who for years did maintenance and repair, and then he retired a few years ago. And so then we have all these broken Braille writers that are backing up. So now we have a local person. We're very excited. He's already repaired several under contract with us. And the State Department monies are going to be used so that he can attend the Perkins School for the Blind Braille Writer Repair class. And then he'll be certified and hopefully he'll work with us forever. Also in the Braille, in Braille news, we have the Braille Prison Program, which we also share with the Idaho Commission for the Blind. And the Braille Prison Program, it was really strong there for a while. And then they moved the prisoners to Arizona because they had good behavior. They moved them out. And so the Braille program has been dormant for several years, but now it's coming back. Currently, they have a certified NLS Brailleist and also 2 that are working on it. And we've been giving them some Braille, like children's books just to start with, and they're doing a good job. So we hope to advance up to textbooks because that will so help our own load. So in campus news, our low vision and blind department, they have 5 teachers for pre-kindergarten through our 18 to 21-year-old program and a full-time O&M specialist. And we do work with the Gooding Public School. And right now there's 1 elementary student who's attending classes there for specials, PE and music. And then we have 2 high school students attending choir. We also share our track with so our ISGB has a nice track for the whole region and the area. And this has been a good way for our students in the campus bridge program. It's only been open for like 2 years and CJ East has been the instructor. Currently we have 5 students and we're hoping to grow. And these students are getting work experience at places like DNC drilling, the Blue Fires Wilderness Therapy, and the Gooding Golf Course, as well as jobs on the campus. And the reason I brought up the track was because the class is also in charge of a concession stand. So that's a really nice way to make money since we have people from all over coming in. The Rotary Club built a small patio, and so we now have a place for the for people coming in to eat, order food. And last season, they used their money earned through the, they call it Raptor Bites, through Raptor Bites to buy a grill. So now they can increase their menu. Also in the works is a new cottage, which is a separate fund from what our budget is. And so we've been asking for a new cottage for a while just because we are growing. And so this new cottage will be for our blind and low vision and our deaf, hard of hearing bridge students. And that way they can have their own place and be able to be more on their own, I guess, as far as like as they move into apartment living. For our outreach program, we serve deaf, hard of hearing, and blind, low vision. We serve a total of 2,724 students throughout the state. Of those, 932 are blind and low vision. 67 of those are birth through 3-year-olds, and 56 are deaf and blindness. And of course, we also know that of these students that we serve, some of them have other impairments going on, and so we also work with other agencies and special ed teachers to make sure the needs are met. There are 13 teachers that I get to work with throughout the state, and they're housed in 7 offices. We also have an assistive technology instructor position, and it's open, so hey, if you want to apply, you can go to our website. But this position will involve collaborating with our consulting teachers around the state, determining what tools they need, and also just being able to do trainings with our people. So we want everybody to feel comfortable with AT. We also have our Lewiston position is open. For Northern Idaho, we have Region 1, which is Post Falls, Region 2, which is Lewiston, Region 3, which is in Caldwell, Region 4, which is our Meridian office, and then we have 5, which is in Gooding, 6 in Pocatello, and 7 in Idaho Falls. So we get around. We also have, family events, throughout the year. And this is, after-school programs. We know it's really hard for parents of students who are blind, low vision to like saying, who else, has raised a child? And so, again, we appreciate our partnerships with the ICDVI and you, NFB, so that we can just get the word out saying, yeah, look at all the options. Our biggest family event is the Boise Zoo Day, and that will be in October again, and we have had 600 participants, and that is children who are blind, low vision, or deaf, hard of hearing, and they're and also we have the deaf. Yes, I covered all the centuries. Okay, all the sensory children, anybody with a sensory loss is welcome to come with their families, and we had over 600 participants, and we have booths for information, and one of them has been in NFB along with we've had assistive technology, housing, Northwest Association of Blind Athletes. We have a variety so parents can get information, but also have fun walking around and seeing the zoo because it's closed and it's only open to our family at the time. We were lucky to get a little grant for our consulting teachers who were able to go to the train depot in Caldwell, and they had a Polar Express party. They based it on the book, The Polar Express, and so we had Santa Claus, decorating activities and other activities, and then of course the real train got to go by within feet of us, so that was pretty exciting too. And then we have Halloween and Christmas events, and that's all of our regions will do something along in that area. And in Gooding, we have a fiesta event, and that's when we ask family of Spanish speaks, families who speak Spanish, their children can come to us. And right now it's been pretty small, but we just want to make sure we're trying to get the needs of our Spanish speaking families in as well. And we're having a transition workshop, actually a transition taco dinner, and that will be coming up next week. Jenny Hirai is our blind low vision teacher for the Region 5, including the Twin Falls area, and she's invited parents and students to come and do a variety of topics, including with the commission. We're getting Linda Upton in before she retires, and then also talking about transportation and other opportunities. So we are excited that we get to continue to work with the commission, and I've gotten to zoom in with Caleb on several meetings. We're going to have the Ready, Set, Go to Work camp again. This will be June 23rd through the 26th on the BSU campus. And we have things like scuba diving, rock climbing, and for team building. And then we also get to go to the CPR class, job shadowing with Fish and Game. And then we do always have a ICDVI rotation where they get to do the different activities, and it gets them to meet to learn more about the commission and think, hey, someday I might want to go to the adult training center. And then they just get to do some other activities. I know that Justin has been doing a home maintenance, and so we get to unplug a sink and fix the toilet, and so they really think that's fun. So we want to keep the interest going now. We also do meal planning. We learn about the business portion and how to fill a vending machine, and that sparked some interest in with some of our kids saying, oh my gosh, I can make money doing this. And then also that they cook a meal and just meet other people who are blind, low vision, who are successful and have careers. That's what we're aiming for. We are also in the other camps that the commission also provides, and this is with Alice and Stephen. Stephen is the View, which is the 5-week camp where they get jobs and then college days. And I'm sure she might be speaking more on those as well. And I will put in a plug for the Northern Rockies AER, and that's a very long name. AER is our professional organizations. We're It's actually for, teachers, rehab teachers, parents, anyone can join, but it's the Association for the Education and Rehabilitation of the Blind and Visually Impaired. So we like to say AER. And our chapter covers Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana, and this year it's going to be in Boise. So if I can certainly send Dana information, and y'all are interested in coming, we would love to have you. But that will be October 23rd through the 26th. And I'm excited about working with actually different agencies for the next time. I hope, I'm not planning on retiring just yet, so I'm gonna add some more numbers to my work years. So that's all I have right now. And if you have a question, please feel free to ask. Yes, did she get a mic? Ramona get a mic?
I think Angie's been running around. Are you coming to the Actually, I have two quick questions.
Okay.
One is with regard to education of campus kids at the Gooding Public Schools. I found it very interesting. You were talking about elementary kids and 2 high school kids doing chorus. And last I knew, and tell me if I'm wrong, there was not a complete academic program for high school kids on campus. And I'm wondering if they have the opportunity to take the academic courses at Gooding High, or whether there's some problem working that out. And my other question is, you used to have programs through the year, and you've mentioned all kinds of activities, but I didn't hear much about programs where we actually could come and watch the kids perform at Gooding. And I wonder if you still have them, and if there's a way to get a calendar of that, or whether they're just not planned for enough. How can we know about them? We can't always come, but if we could, we'd have to know.
Okay, so I'll answer your first question. So like all our students are on individual educational plans. What we need to plan for that, that's going to be in the forefront. We have had students who have taken English classes, a math class over the years at Gooding Public Schools, but it does go in waves as far as like the numbers going over there. And I guess for these students, which I am not familiar with the elementary student is taking the specials, and I know part of that is so that she can get into the the socialization and all that, and plus she really likes those. But she is coming back to the ISGB for reading and math and science and all those. So I don't know if that answers your question, but we are working with them, and we do try to fit them in with the Gooding Public Schools if possible. It can also be kind of a stepping stone if they could, because sometimes students will come to our school and it's like they haven't been very successful in their public school. So it is good to kind of get a stepping stone into 1 or 2 classes at the public school, and then we can talk more about how they can enter their own homeschool program.
Well, can they get a full academic high school program?
Because I couldn't figure out if it's not on campus and it's not at Gooding High, how do they get a full academic program in high school? I'm talking about high school level.
Sure. So yes, we do have people, students graduate with a quote regular diploma, and so that means that they do they are getting the correct classes. But Dave Sparks is our principal, and he would definitely be able to answer more of those questions. It's my understanding they are working hard to make sure, because we are small, and you're right, we're covering more than one subject with our high school teachers. Then you're asked about the programs. We do not have as many programs as we have in the past, and I think just because and we do have I think classes are doing it more, so that's like our elementary particularly. So I guess parents are asked to come in, which is a good way to have them come in and see what's going on. But we do usually have a Christmas program, Ramona, so I would definitely, can send a flyer to, Dana, and she can get it out.
That would
So,
be great.
okay, I'll definitely do that.
And if we could get it far enough in advance.
I will, yeah, because when I know, Dana will know, so we'll do it like that.
Thanks.
Okay, another question?
You had talked about the students being involved with, job kind of stuff and making a profit kind of.
Yes.
As a state agency, is that allowed, or are you under, public schools?
I
or-
sure hope it's allowed. Or else
Yeah, I mean, I
our
guess-
finance director is not gonna be happy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that works. But I'm glad, it's concession money that we put back into the program, but I'm not sure how that works.
Wouldn't that work similar to just being in a regular school where the cheerleaders or the basketball team or?
Yes, that's a good point, Cindy. She was saying that like in public schools, they will have fundraisers, like the cheerleading will fundraise for a trip or, so I think we are in the same boat. One thing about IESDP, I'll also say, is that we are considered a quasi-governmental entity, and it doesn't look good on shirts, if you try to do that. We like our school. And that just means that we're kind of between an agency and a school. In most cases, we are acknowledged as a school, but in some cases, we are considered an agency. And like the superintendents I've had before says it depends on the money. If we can get more money from you, the government says we can get more money from you if you're a school or an agency, it depends. But it doesn't work like that. We're a line item budget, so that's what we go for. But we are in this in between.
And I guess that's why my question is, how would that roll over into the adult training program?
How would this roll over into the adult training program?
If we wanted to do, or the commission, if we wanted to do something like that.
Oh, then you would have to talk to Beth. And if you want to hang out with our concession stand people, they would probably like it.
We can't do that.
Yeah, Beth is saying, you can't do that because you have other
Right.
means and
Right,
your
like
business
that's why
program.
we can't sell plants or.
Right,
stuff.
yes, we do sell plants and we sell, our blind low vision, middle school class has been selling plants from a nursery that's doing it. So they sell plants so that they can buy more plants and more equipment, and then that's part of their biology class that they get to do, so.
Page with the question.
Sure.
Hi, this is Tom Page from Kansas. You mentioned the plug for AER.
Yes.
And I'm sure with your great years of service, you have some concept that there's been a pretty strained relationship between that organization
Yes.
and NFB.
Yes.
Do you anticipate in this regional conference that there will be programming presented from blind citizens to the participants?
So we're still getting our agenda going. And I'll be honest with you, I know we do have some blind presenters, but I don't know the selection right
I
now.
understand. I sense that there's a great opportunity here, and I am sure that the NFB of Idaho would love to collaborate to
Okay.
create some programming
Mhm.
and or attend and monitor the proceedings. And so thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you so much.
All right. So, time-wise, got a little time, so I'm gonna have Joe come up and talk cycle for independence, and then we'll do a door prize. That's why a door prize is easy, right after cycle for independence. I am right here, Joe. I'm going to tap on the podium.
Okay.
Yep, and I've got the mic right there. Is that good? Okay.
Hi, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to be at the podium for a minute. So for those of you who are new to us, the Cycle for Independence bike ride is the Treasure Valley chapter fundraiser. And the history of that, I believe this is the 29th year of it. It was started by Larry and Sandy Streeter in the 90s, and it has grown into 3 routes. It's a 10-mile, a 25, and a 62-mile route. We start at River Glen Junior High on Gary Lane in Boise, Idaho, and we go east and west. And in years past, we have had as many as 400 riders. Last year, it rained on us. It was a whole lot smaller last year. So a couple of things about it. This year, we hired a computer consultant who went out online and applied to 40 major companies to acquire sponsorships. And although our result was pretty small, we brought in a few $1,000s from that. So it was worth our investment. And one of the ones we acquired this year that we haven't had in the past was Intermountain Gas. So, and we were able to reestablish with Idaho Power because we had lost them for a year or two. So we were able to reestablish with them again. Also, Costco has come through at a pretty small amount, but at least it's a relationship. Yeah. So we are still looking for volunteers, and I think we need a couple of blind guys at a couple of water stops. I think we need some help at the base station at the barbecue, and of course, cleanup is always huge. So up here in the front with me, I've got sponsor forms. I'll organize in a folder. So if you have a doctor's office, a dentist, a coffee shop that you would be interested in approaching to sponsor us, I've got information. I've also got window clings with me. If anybody is interested in taking a window cling to stick up in your hairdresser's window or your barber shop or whoever. And then we are doing a raffle. We are raffling off a Blackstone grill, and we've got tickets for sale for that. So if you're interested in either purchasing or helping us sell those, I've got those with us as well.
How
And
much are the tickets?
they are $5 a piece.
And the raffle, you don't have to worry about if you don't live here, because it's going to be sent via Amazon.
Yes. And Snake River Valley, if you're interested in helping us or participating or joining, the bike ride is on Saturday, May 30th.
30th.
And I want flyers after lunch.
Okay. Yep, I got it. Okay. All right. Any questions?
Now, how do you get the raffle tickets?
I got them up here in a box, so find me and I'll help you out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
What's the website?
I'm sorry.
What's the bike website?
The bike website is help me, Angie. Cycleforindependence.org. Thank you.
We're on Facebook.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep,
All right.
we're on Facebook and we are on Instagram now.
So spread us around and your friends.
All right, Shane. Here you go. Thank you.
All right.
Door prize.
Door prize, door prize, door prize.
Ramona donated some Thin Mint cookies, and we got Cycle for Independence socks.
Gotta have socks after the CFI presentation.
Yeah, socks.
Ramona, do you want your Thin Mints back or do you want us to donate them back, your name back then and pull somebody else out?
I don't believe in putting them back for redrawing.
Okay, Kevin. Okay, good to her. Okay, you got Cycle for Independence socks.
Okay, let's do another one. Okay, we're gonna do socks that I got in front of me and a Dutch Brothers gift card. And we're gonna do, mix them up again. Andy, are you back? Can you see well enough? Okay, I gotta see your word.
Annie Norstenbahn.
Yay!
Yellow socks.
Thank you. Okay.
Want to do one more, Crystal?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Do one more.
Right over there, babe. Where's that?
Let me go see,
What do we have for door prize over there? Let's do the pillow from Susan Ford that made.
Okay.
Ford made.
Because we all want to take a nap, is that
Yes,
why we're
yes,
going to
I
do
like
it?
it.
All right. I like it.
it's, Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse, okay.
Parker Pennell.
Parker here?
Parker?
Okay.
We do have some Saturday people this year, yep.
Yeah, we have some Saturday people that won't be here.
Emma Woods.
Not here.
Oh, man, we're digging deep. Who's this?
Jose Kearney.
Over here, Midas. Yay.
All right, awesome. Thank you, door prizes.
Yay.
And Leslie, could you come up and do a nominations report? And then I will do some other announcements after that. All right, Leslie, I'm right.
Good morning, everyone. This is Leslie, and I was very honored to be asked to chair the nominating committee this year. Along with me were Fawn Owens and Lynn Knight. This is a short election year, re-election year. So we had 4 board positions that needed to be confirmed or filled. So everyone who we encountered was willing to remain on the board. Those people were Vicky Bateman, CJ Squires, and Fawn Owens. We had a 4th position that was left vacant when Joe stepped into second vice. And so Lynn Knight was putting himself forward. Fawn and I support that. And so we are adding him to the slate as well. Do you need all the names? Okay. And that is my report. Thank you.
Now, the reason that we wanted to make sure that that was introduced now is that gives you time to think about that. And if you want to place other nominations, your opportunity will be during our business meeting, which is tomorrow. And this is Dana making sure, she sent me a note. And so I'm going to make sure I say this. Our tradition here in Idaho is if you are going to nominate someone, you need to have talked to them prior. Don't just surprise them. You need to have talked to them to make sure that they are wanting to accept that nomination. So this gives you an opportunity to do that if you would like to.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
you should review the people who are not up for nomination.
So this year, thank you, Ramona. Yeah. So this year is one of what is kind of our off-year election, which is our 3 board positions plus a 4th. In our next year, our larger election, I think that's what Ramona is referring to, are our officer positions. So president, first vice president, second vice president, treasurer, and secretary, as well as 3 board members.
Well, it'd be 2.
It'll be 3 because we're on the one election, the board member that we're appointed, that the 4th position is filling a 1-year slot. And that is, it's filling Joe's slot. So it's a 1-year term. And so that person, if they want to be nominated again next year, it'll be part of next year's slate. So it is a one-year term for the fourth position, which is where Lynn's name has been placed in nomination.
So can you name the people who hold the positions that are not up, so that they don't get nominated for something that is up?
Okay, I will try. Let's see if I can test my brain.
Yes, good call.
So president is Dana Ard. First vice president is somebody up here, Shane Ostermeyer.
Hello.
Second vice president is Joe Grover. Secretary is Susan Bradley. Treasurer is Don Winnicky. The other board positions are Natalie Morgan,
And Fano is-
Megan Geisler, and
Bon Owens.
no, Fawn's up this year.
Lynn will be up there. Well, there's just two then.
Then we'll be up next year.
Who am I missing?
Well,
Oh, Joe.
yeah.
Joe Grover's position. That's who I'm missing.
Yeah.
So Joe is now second VP, so that's the one that we're filling for 1 year. See, brain test, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so quick housekeeping things. And our time schedule, we're a little ahead, and it's because we've had some speakers that were unable to make it this morning. So a couple of announcements. One, hospitality is opening for lunch. And Sue Brooks has been working very hard. So please thank her for all the work that she's been doing while you're getting your lunch today. At 12:30 to 2:30, the vendors are going to be in the room. The hotel staff's going to open up a wall that's to my left. And the vendors are there, and they'll be there from 12:30 to 2:30. So please check them out. There will be several tables in there, so please go visit them. Please come back here at 2:30, and we'll have our afternoon agenda. Then we'll have a quick break at 5 till 6, and then 6 o'clock will be the board dinner. Okay? So amazingly, we are ahead of schedule, which I think I should get a gold star for that. So as we break though, let's do a quick door prize and then I hear some hands. Door prize.
Money, let's see 25. Because I haven't gotten 45.
Where are you? At the front.
So if you want $20, if you want to go to lunch, who wants $20 who stayed in the room? Okay, who's this? Who's me? I'm not listening. Liz Knife, nice. Auction maker, David. Oh, well, you don't got it. That's your go. Liz ain't here. Who's this?
Yeah.
Go charity one. No, I didn't. Who's this?
Yeah.
Kevin Kearney. Kevin Kearney. I think they left. Oh man, people leaving and there was cash to be won.